King Alaric was a man who ruled from the shadows. To the rest of the world, the great Alpha was a broken king, confined to a heavy oak chair, his legs supposedly shattered in the Great War. In reality, Alaric was perfectly whole. He simply used the chair as a filter. He wanted to see who would pity him, who would rob him, and, most importantly, who could love a man they thought had nothing to offer. Into this web of secrets stepped Selah. She was a high-born daughter whose family had fallen into ruin, forcing her to take a position as the king's personal attendant. "Don't look him in the eye," the head butler warned her. "He's a bitter soul." But when Selah entered the room, she didn't see a monster. She saw a man sitting in a darkened corner, surrounded by dusty books. Instead of bowing with fear, she walked to the window and threw open the heavy velvet curtains. "The sun doesn't care if you're bitter, my lord. It shines anyway." Alaric was intrigued, but his wolf was paranoid. He began a series of deliberate tests to find the crack in her kindness. The test of greed. He accidentally dropped a rare signet ring, the key to the royal treasury, near her feet and pretended to doze off. Selah didn't pocket it. She placed it on the table and weighed it down with a heavy book so it wouldn't fall again. The test of pity. He purposefully spilled his water, waiting for her to sigh or look at him with disgust. Instead, she knelt and cleaned it up, telling him a silly joke about a clumsy wolf she knew as a child. The test of loyalty. His brother, Prince Julian, approached Selah in secret, offering her a bag of gold to report on the king's weakness. Selah refused the gold and told the prince that the king's business was his own. Alaric felt his heart softening, but the old scars of betrayal ran deep. He decided on one final, cruel deception. He knew Selah walked in the royal gardens every evening. Using his true strength, he donned the armor of a captain of the guard and masked his scent with cedarwood. He intercepted her in the rose garden, standing tall and powerful. As the captain, he flirted with her, showing her the strength the broken king supposedly lacked. "Why waste your youth on a man in a chair?" the captain whispered, cornering her against a stone wall. "A woman like you needs a man who can run with her, hunt with her. Come with me and leave that shell of a king behind." Selah looked the captain in the eye and slapped him. "The king has more strength in his little finger than you have in your entire body," she hissed. "He carries the weight of a kingdom while sitting still. You just carry a sword." The captain's face shifted. Alaric shed his disguise, standing before her in the moonlight. He expected her to be relieved that her king was healed. Instead, Selah's face went pale. She looked at his legs, then back at his eyes. "You were never hurt," she whispered. "Every time I worried about your pain, every time I stayed up late to make you tea for your aches, it was a lie. You weren't looking for a mate, you were looking for a spy." Before Alaric could beg for her forgiveness, Prince Julian stepped from the trees, a crossbow in his hand. He had seen the whole thing. "I told you she was trouble, brother," Julian sneered, "but now that you've shown her you're not actually crippled, I can't let her live to tell the council. You were supposed to stay in that chair until I decided it was time for you to pass away." Julian fired, but Alaric moved with the speed of a true alpha, shielding Selah with his body and disarming his brother in a blur of motion. The betrayal was complete. The broken king was the only one standing, while his loyal brother was revealed as the traitor. The prince was exiled, and the chair was chopped for firewood, but the palace felt colder than ever. Selah didn't stay to be a queen. She went back to her family's ruined estate, preferring the honesty of a broken home to the lies of a gilded palace. Alaric didn't send guards to bring her back. He spent months fixing her estate with his own hands, working in the fields like a commoner. He didn't ask her to love a king. He asked her to forgive a man who had forgotten how to trust. One afternoon, Selah found him in her garden, planting the same roses she had defended him in months before. "No more masks?" she asked. "No more masks," he promised. "Just the wolf that belongs at your side."